Hey guys, how's it going? So, today I am going to be going over the translations for the new Dragon Ball Super Chapter 88, full summary of it, compliments of Dragon Ball Super Chronicles for actually translating the entire thing, and also compliments to Dragon Ball Super Hype for actually getting us all of this information. They are amazing to actually be able to get us all this leaked information as soon as possible. Us being over in the States makes it kind of difficult to sometimes keep up with a lot of content that we're just not getting over here in the States. I mean, we really are. We're really not. So I just want to give them the shout out that they deserve, and the credit, in all honesty, that they deserve for actually acquiring everything that we have for the new chapters and henceforth and so forth. But I just kind of wanted to get into it and read the summaries for you. Obviously, you don't have to watch or listen to this. I am going to just throw some of the channel pages onto there while I'm doing that. But here we go. The summary for Part 1, Dragon Ball Super number 88. Chapter 88, The Birth of the Superheroes. The chapter starts with Goku and Vegeta back on Beerus' planet. Goku, Whis, Beerus, and the Oracle Fish eat yakisoba, noodles, while Vegeta looks upon the sky looking at his new goal of defeating Black Frieza one day, which we actually can see in full color now of what his official colors will be. It is exactly how it looked like it would be prior to what we've seen. His chest plate is kind of white still, and the rest of him is gone dark, or almost what I would say like a shiny, not a quartz, but almost like a rock, like a very shiny diamond rock, but black. I have a feeling that what we see here is not his final, ironic, his final form. I'm sure he has another stage of that evolution that will just either make him completely black or it'll be all purple and black, which I think would be amazing. Anyways, so meanwhile on Earth, two mysterious masked men appear on the streets, calling themselves the Cleanup Heroes, Saiyaman X1 and Saiyaman X2, to stop a jewelry store robbery. The robbers and civilians in the R. Oh, that's a typo. In the R, surprised to see the heroes overturn thieves' car. They begin to deliver their heroic lines in front of the people. One of the thugs points a gun at the heroes, but X1 destroys the gun and puts it in a bag and gives it back to the thief. Then the thief charges them with knives, but X1 and X2 dodge them with ease. They finish it with a double kick, and then the thieves are down on the ground. Cleanup complete, say the two. The heroes unmask themselves after going to the rooftop of a nearby building, and it's none other than Goten and Trunks, who have now grown up. They talk about their dialogues and poses being similar to a game hero, Clean God specifically, but Goten tells Trunks not to worry much since they're a duo while the Clean God works alone. Just then, Goten receives a news alert. Trunks gets excited hearing the word robbery, but it's actually a robbery of personal information due to a cyber attack. This makes Trunks lose all his excitement, as there's no way they can fight cyber criminals. Goten notes that Trunks isn't so good with computers. Just then, Goten receives a call from Chi-Chi, who angrily shouts at him for being late to home after school. Both Goten and Trunks haven't told their families about their hero activities, so Goten changes to his regular costume. Trunks wants them to have a wristwatch to switch costumes like Gohan did. Since he can't ask Bulma, he decides to ask Pilaf, make them instead. Goten leaves with flying Nimbus and leaves his superhero outfit with Trunks. Trunks lands on the other side of the street and wonders if he should change his outfit there or go home with the superhero outfit, since he can't risk any civilians to know about his secret hero identity. Moving on to summary part 2. Trunks gets surprised to spot his grandparents at a nearby flower shop. He quickly puts on his helmet to not let them know about him. Dr. Brief spots him and says, "Oh, aren't you the something man who appeared on the scene earlier?" Trunks introduces himself as the hero Saiyaman X1. Dr. Brief's pet dinosaur recognizes Trunks and goes running towards him. Dr. Brief notes that their pet dino doesn't usually bond with anyone other than family so fast, to which Trunks replies that superheroes are loved by all. He orders Dino to sit and he flies away. Dr. Brief notes that the number of youngsters flying in the sky has increased in recent days. Dr. Brief's wife, Panchi, comes near him after buying flowers upon hearing that Dr. Brief was talking to a superhero. She wishes to talk to a hero one day too. Dr. Brief tells her that the superhero's voice sounded very familiar to him. Panchi asks Dr. Brief to choose one from the flowers as she plans to gift them to Pan on joining kindergarten recently. Dr. Brief thinks to gift Pan with a fancy airplane. Since the last time he saw her, she was upset as she couldn't fly like Piccolo and the others. Suddenly, Dino notices something. It's the Capsule Corp's helper robots running away from a zombie. Next day at Capsule Corporation, Trunks goes to Pilaf to ask him about the wristwatches. Pilaf tells him that Trunks is ready and hands over to him Goten's, and Goten's will be done in a day's time. In return of keeping the secret, Pilaf asks Trunks to keep the stealing of Dragon Balls a secret from Bulma. Trunks agrees and reminds him about his part of the deal, to which Pilaf says that he hasn't even told Shu and Mai about their hero activities. Suddenly, Bulma interrupts them from behind and asks what they're talking so secretly. Why they're talking so secretly. Trunks gets surprised but manages to avoid the question. Bulma asks him if it isn't his school time. Trunks runs for his school, but sees Mai and Shu pick up a heavy box and stops to help her. Shu asks Trunks to help him lift his boxes too, but Trunks ignores him and leaves after blushing and saying goodbye to Mai. Bulma notices this. Moving on to part 3. Bulma confronts Pilaf by telling him that she saw him sneak into his room and steal the Dragon Balls from there in the surveillance camera. Since he obviously is going to wish for something silly, Bulma wants him to hand over to her to keep them in safe place. Trunks leaves her school riding a bicycle, similar to what Gohan rode in We Gotta Power song, just not a Capsule Corp model. Trunks arrives at school, the Blue Hall High School. He sneaks into his class from the window, but the teacher spots him and punishes him for being late. Trunks' friend, Compass, asks him about the reason he's late, to which replies that he's been busy with some after-school work. Compass assumes it's related to Capsule Corp since Trunks is going to become the next president, but Trunks makes it clear to him that he doesn't wish to be on that position. He only wants more excitement in his life. That job is too boring, he thinks. Trunks' friend, Lula, invites him to Butterfly Mountain for a test of courage game. Since the school hockey players reported ghost sightings, Trunks backs out saying it's too boring, but in reality he's too afraid of ghosts. After school, Trunks invites Goten to come over and play Clean God game. Trunks wants to be more active in his real life hero time, not in the game playing as a hero. Seeing Trunks' watch, Goten can't wait for his too. Trunks tells him that he used to watch once during recess to go buy 2 movie tickets to Clean God's first day showing. Used the watch once during recess, okay. Goten thinks the ticket is for him, but Trunks tells him that he wants to go out with Mai. Trunks goes to the lab to ask out Mai for a movie that Saturday, but she rejects the invite as everyone in the lab is busy fixing the helper bots. Trunks asks the reason why so many robots suddenly needed fixing, so Shu tells him that these robots became disobedient and ran away from their owners' houses. Pilaf believes that this is no malfunction, it must be someone doing. Shu tells that, according to some rumors, there's a group of people who appear at night and modify the robots, causing them to malfunction. Trunks thinks to catch these guys to free Mai for next Saturday. Alright, part 4. Trunks gets Goten and goes out in the streets at night. The boys don't see anything suspicious in the area. Goten mentions that there have been reports of the ghost sightings in that area too. Trunks shivers in fear while Goten is calm. Trunks says that as the son of a scientist, he can't believe ghosts are real, but Goten reminds him that both Goku and Vegeta both died once and came as ghosts to the real world. Trunks bumps into a seriously injured face man, gets scared, and hides in the alley. Goten notices the seriously injured face man do something with a remote to an old man's robot. Trunks thinks he's wearing such a mask to scare people. A car passes by the boys with bright lights, blinding them. They suspect the culprit is inside the car, so they follow it. It leads them to the rumored Butterfly Mountain, where ghosts are sighted. Trunks is scared. He wants to go home, but Goten wants to continue. Goten reminds him that solving this case would let Mai go on a movie date with them. Trunks overcomes his fear and is now ready to solve the case. Trunks and Goten find out that their helper robots were pre-programmed to work at the factory. A heavily injured man in the bandages notices intruders, but it's obvious. But it's actually Trunks' friend. The man in the bandages grabs Compass by the neck. Trunks asks Goten to wait outside as he transforms into Saiyaman X1 and goes in to save them. He arrives at the nick of time and saves Compass. The zombies gang up on Trunks, but he easily sends them flying. Trunks hits their leader with an upcycle punch, but he blocks it. He says his body has been modified to withstand a certain amount of impact. As Trunks is about to try out another one of his finishing moves, the watch time's out. He loses his costume, and his identity is revealed to his friends. Goten destroys the light and takes away the schoolmates to safety, leaving Trunks behind. Goten tells them that it was the ghosts doing. They made them hallucinate into seeing Trunks as Saiyaman X1. Back in the factory, Trunks defeats the leader by going into Super Saiyan. Trunks finds a safe. In it was a disc titled Dr. Gero. He takes it to home to check out later. Summary Part 5. Super Cop Krillin arrives on the spot. He was there as he got a report from a nearby resident seeing moving corpses in the area. Trunks gets shocked in fear hearing moving corpses. Krillin further informs them that recently many bodies were stolen from the mortuary. People who saw these dead bodies moving here reported to the station. Sometime later, Dr. Hedo returns to the factory at Butterfly Mountain. He notices all his Alpha soldiers knocked down to the ground. Alpha 12 leader gives him Trunks' school badge and says that a kid from the school did this. Dr. Hedo is pissed to see that the Dr. Gero disc is missing from his safe. The sushi business was starting to catch pace now, but thanks to Trunks, Dr. Hedo has to find a new business to carry out his expenses. Next day, Trunks comes to the lab to go out to the movie with Mai, but Pilaf tells him that a lot of severely broken helper bots were collected from Butterfly Mountain, so they need to fix it or they can't get to sleep. Trunks realizes it was him who did that to those robots. As an end note, what's on the disc that Trunks found? Next time, Hedo's operation begins. The end. So, what we found out is that, in summary, Trunks and Goten are now Saiyaman X1 and X2, and they're trying to keep it a secret. In the meantime, it looks like we're going to see some extra little tidbits before the superhero movie with Dr. Hedo actually not having all of everything done. It looks like this is before, because he's working on the action. This is actually pointed out in the movie, so spoiler alert, click off if you're hearing this. In the movie, he actually points out why he went to prison, and he went to prison because he was running like an ice cream shop or something, and he had zombies working there. Okay, well, this is basically leading up to that exact point. So it's interesting. I'm more actually interested in the next chapter. What if we get to see what's on Dr. Gero's disc? What else is on there? What else could we find out about Dr. Gero and Dr. Hedo? But anyways, guys, I'm going to cut it off at this point. Hopefully on the next chapter, you'll be able to join me in the translations, and we can geek out a little bit over it. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video or just the sound. I do plan on making this an audio file and hopefully popping it onto maybe a... we'll see in the future anyways. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day and a good night.